Live from Toast Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Toast empowers the restaurant community to delight guests, do what they love, and thrive. That's Toast, Jimmy. We love Toast. ToastTab.com. We love it, Jimmy. We got a great show. Let's kick it off.
I want to welcome you all more formally to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of Brand Hospitality Group share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry you love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the Finance Guy, and I'll pass it back to Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the Restaurant Guy.
And thank you for that kind introduction, Jimmy. To those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy, and I am the Restaurant Guy, and Jimmy is the Finance Guy, and we are at the intersection of hospitality, restaurants, technology, capital, investing, and everything in between, Jimmy. Everything.
It's a lot.
There's nothing we don't do.
Big show today.
But I got to tell you, we love the most. You know what we love the most? We love Italian food and Southwestern food.
I see what you're doing here. I see where you're going.
You know, Jimmy, I got to tell you, I'm looking at myself right now. We got these new lights in the studio. Yeah. I'm looking a little pasty.
You know, it's February. We might need some sun.
Yeah, but you look good. Well, you were in Disney.
Cut it out. Yeah,
no, you look tan, you look skinny, you're in the gym, and look at me.
Now I know you're lying.
I mean, I'm looking at Mike Smith right now, man. I mean, I got to tell you, he's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. I look horrible. I may go off camera. But I got to tell you, Jimmy, you know what? We joke around about POS and how important it is for a restaurant.
The heart.
You say the heart. I say the brain. I say the brain. You say the heart. All I know is I love what they're doing at Toast. I got to tell you, we switched over all of our restaurants to Toast just a few years back during the pandemic, and I got to tell you, how long do you say during the pandemic? Will that be something I'll be, like when I'm 80, will I be saying, remember the pandemic?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Is that right? We'll just always be saying pandemic?
I think, well, not forever, but they'll look back at that moment in time, that 3-4 year period, and be like,
But it's 5 years ago now, isn't it?
But people still talk about the Great Recession of 2008. They talk about the Great Depression of 29. You know what? We can still.
I don't like saying pandemic. It scares me.
Call COVID.
I don't even like that either.
All right.
I'll just say we changed our POS a few years back. How's that?
We changed.
All right, I got to tell you, and we love it. So we switched over to Toast, and I got to tell you, over 175,000 restaurants are now depending on Toast. It's great. Our customers love it. Our staff love it. The managers love it. The team, everyone loves it.
That's good.
So I'm just going to say this. We love Toast, ToastTab.com. I love it. Jimmy, let's get into it because we got an amazing show.
We do, and we're very excited for today's episode. Joining us is our friend, Mr. Mike Smith, the Chief Brand Officer of Moe's Southwest Grill.
Wow.
Boom. We got a big dog
Wow.
on the show. We're going to bring Mike in because really we have a very full. We have a lot on our plate today because Mike is doing some amazing things, and we're going to have a good time. But listeners know that we release our podcast on Tuesdays. We play a little game, Trivia Tuesday. I'm going to give you 2 truths and 1 not truth, also known as a lie, about our friend Mike. And later in the episode, Chatsy's going to guess which of the 2 truths and which was a lie. So here we go. Factoid 1 about Mike. Mike's family had their first grocery store steak when he was in college. Fact 2.
Wait a minute. What?
Mike's family had their first grocery store steak when he was in college.
What do you mean a grocery store?
Yeah, you'll have to guess whether it's true or not, Mike.
I don't know what the hell it means.
Well, there you go.
Like he went to a grocery store and he got a steak?
I can only give you the factoids. If you don't understand it, you have to move on. Okay,
well,
fact 2. You have to Google it. Fact 2, or Bing it. Fact 2. Mike worked at a golf course in college, and having access to the course allowed him to be a scratch golfer.
Mike worked at a golf course.
I could see that.
I'm looking at Mike right now.
Mike could definitely be a golfer.
Guy looks like he's.
You know when this podcast is not a golfer?
Drives for show.
This guy.
He can't putt for though.
This guy can't.
Mike can't putt for shit, but he can drive a long ball.
And fact 3.
He's smiling. So no, that's true.
As Mike is smiling, as fact 3, Mike got braces at age 30. And I gotta tell you, he's got a beautiful smile.
I don't know. I gotta try.
A beautiful smile.
Mike's got no short game. Look at that smile.
Look at those perfect pearly whites. All right. I gave you 3 factoids. Mike's family had their first grocery store steak when he was in college. Mike worked at a golf course in college.
Can I just ask one more question?
You can ask, but I'm not. I'm
Mike's family had their first grocery store steak? Like they went to the grocery store and they got a steak?
I can only tell you.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
fine. We'll move it.
Fact 2 was the golf course and scratch golfer. Fact 3 was got braces at age 30. Stick around. Later in the episode.
You know who else got braces at age 30? Or maybe a little older. Mr. Tom Cruise.
Mr. Tom Cruise?
That's right. He got braces.
Mike Smith's smile is better.
Mike
Smith's smile
the
is
Tom
better.
Cruise of restaurants.
Could be.
100%.
Better smile.
Yeah.
All right. Stick around, and there we have it. And at this point, you would think we would bring our friend and our guest in. But no, because we really want patience from our guests. And now we have to, how do you become, Shatsy? How do you become the CBO? The Chief Brand Officer.
Chief Brand Officer.
How do you become the Chief Brand Officer?
Well, the first thing you got to do is
tell us.
Well, Mike got a job at retail in his local mall.
Yep.
He went and he got a job. We don't know exactly where, but he got a job at it was Sears.
It was folding clothes.
Or J.C. Penney.
Yes, he was
something like that. It was back in the day when you went to a mall and it was Sears.
Yeah, I'm not a good clothes folder, so I'm more of a roll up guy. I roll the clothes.
Well, if he was folding clothes, he's probably at the Gap. Right? All right. Well, anyway, he's at the Gap. He's somewhere in a mall store, right? And he leaves and he goes to restaurants and he starts as a dishwasher, which happens all the time.
Oh.
Mike was a dishwasher.
Hospitality hustler here. Dishwasher to C-suite.
He goes to University of Missouri, Bachelor of Science, Finance. He graduates 2003, gets braces. His teeth were crooked. He put some braces on, works through college, paid off his entire student loan by bartending. Jimmy, you were a bartender. I was a bartender. We know a little something about bartending, right? He graduates from Missouri, okay, and he goes to Hooters in Kansas City. They were hiring. Hooters was hiring.
Yep.
They're not hiring anymore, from what I understand. But they were hiring then, and then it was an all-male staff at Hooters back in those days, right, Mike?
I don't think so. I think that might have got lost in translation.
He drove 2 hours every day to go to work because he knew that he wanted to work at Hooters, right? He goes to Hooters. He loves the whole restaurant things. He's in corporate, right? He works his way up the corporate ladder. 13 years at Hooters. It was his idea, by the way, to bring women into Hooters. It was all guys in there. And he's like, we should bring a few girls in here as servers and cocktail waitresses, which I thought was a brilliant idea.
Very good idea.
It was. He goes to Taziki's Mediterranean. He wanted to dabble with Mediterranean a little bit, okay? He becomes the CEO, the youngest COO of Taziki's ever in the histories of Taziki's, okay? He's there for 6 years. 6 years he's over there. They had like one store when he gets there. They had like 2,000, 3,000 stores when he leaves. And the guy is a monster. And then he goes to Moe's in just 2022, VP of Ops. In 6 months, he becomes a chief brand officer. That's how much they knew this guy was a rock star. He's got great teeth. He's got a drive like forget about it. He's got a short game like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Smith, the chief brand officer, VP Ops, and everything in between. Welcome to the show. How great is it to have you here on the Hangout, hanging with two idiots?
And now we get to bring Mike in.
Now we get to bring Mike.
Now he comes in.
How much did I get right, Mike?
Shatsy, I think I need to take you with me as my hype guy everywhere I go because I like your description of what happened better
I'm your
than my own.
wingman. I'm your wingman.
Yeah, I
we'll
know,
talk after
man.
the show.
If I'd only known, it's like the Family Guy episode where you could be my theme music. Right?
Yeah. That's why when I travel, I'm Jimmy's wingman. He's got no gab. I go over there, set him up.
That's right.
I heard you guys. I heard your entry song from Moe's, and at Moe's we do a little thing called Welcome to Moe's. I'd actually like to hear your best Welcome Moe's, so you call it out when people walk in the front door. Do you think you could do one of those for me, and maybe I could steal it and use it later?
Yeah. I want you to create a Welcome to Moe's.
Yeah, could you give me
like
what you're doing now?
Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. Go, Shatsy, this is you. You're about to be
welcome to Moe's.
There you go.
Immortalized.
It's like these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome. That's yours? Is yours? Welcome.
I was going a little dark.
Like you're like De Niro? Hey,
you talking to me?
You talking to me?
Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. Welcome to Moe's.
This is good. I like this.
Yeah, I do too. I think we got to get that. Yeah, I like that.
All right, I want to jump in. Well, the studio audience.
They love it. They love it. They love it. Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. This is good.
All right, that could be the new one.
Listen, Mike, when you came to Moe's, you identified menu development as a key challenge. All right, now we're diving in. You are leading an incredible creative renaissance, from tequila lime chicken to birria to tikka masala. You are pushing the envelope on the boundaries of what is in a burrito. And every brand talks about innovation. But I think it's really cool and fascinating that how you're approaching it, it's not just about new proteins and flavors, but completely reimagining what Southwest cuisine can be. So how do you balance the desire to break new ground and be a leader in this space while maintaining your core, Moe's core identity that's made Moe's just such a beloved brand in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, a lot of people don't know, but Moe's is actually an acronym that stands for Musicians, Outlaws, and Entertainers. And so a couple of years,
wait.
That's
you gotta
not
write
breaking
that
news,
down.
but it's news to us.
Get the pen out. Outlaws.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Outlaws.
breaking news over the wires. We're just getting this right now. Mike Smith
Entertainers.
is on. Breaking news. Mike, can you tell us what Moe's actually stands for? MOE?
Shatsy, I sure can. It's Musicians, Outlaws, and Entertainers.
Wow. No one knew that. That's breaking news.
Who knew it? A lot of it, we didn't know it. But
I should put that in
I
my
love
trivia.
Moe's even more now. I love the name
All I
Moe's
know
even
is,
more.
Jimmy, we're going on the road next week.
Moe's.
And I got to tell you, I cannot wait to ask people everywhere I go, do you know what Moe's stands for?
I love that.
Oh, God, I got to love that. Yeah. Sorry, Mike. Sorry for interrupting. It was just so
No,
great.
no. I love it. So, we did some brand work a couple of years ago, and we were looking at our menu and thinking about our stores as we were getting ready to remodel and re-image these buildings. And we said, what's Moe's all about? And we looked back at the Musicians, Outlaws, and Entertainers theme. And we said, we need to embrace this. And what is the one thing that all three of those characters have in common? And it's really their rebel spirit, right? And so when we look at that, we think about that in our food as well. So as we've done these collaborations, whether it's with Cheez-It or Eggo Waffles or Mike's Hot Honey or Mr. Bing's with the Chili Crisp Chicken, as we do all of these, brand initiatives and we think about our food, we don't think about this limited to this like tight, narrow, has to be authentically Mexican or Southwest Mexican or what's the piece. We think about how do we embrace our rebel spirit when it comes to all things flavor.
I love what Mike said, and I wrote a note to myself, Moe's. I'm not saying this is don't use it, but if you want it, use anything you like. Moe's coloring outside the lines. They color outside the lines.
Yeah.
Burritos outside the lines. I love that. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm not loving my
that's
comment.
our
I
thing.
love how you described the musicians, the outlaws, the entertainers, which I didn't know.
Well, when did Moe's start, Mike?
Overall, the rebel spirit.
How old is Moe's?
Yeah, so December 1 will be 25 years old.
So where was the first store? Where was the first Moe's?
Buckhead, Atlanta. So we started right here in Atlanta,
Buckhead.
Georgia, in our Buckhead location. So currently that store is operated by a franchisee, but we invite everybody to go by. One of the original billboards is still up next to that store. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's a long history of Moe's growing throughout. We're predominantly in the Southeast and East Coast of the U.S., but we've recently opened some stores in Arizona. We have some planned growth in Southern California, and we're looking forward to growing this brand and this concept. And we think that these new flavors and our collaboration with other big brands is going to help us do that.
I love it. I got to tell you, talking about collaboration, innovation, I mean, Moe's, so musicians, outlaws, and entertainers, I think that gives you just so much cool stuff. The outlaws is what I'm thinking. I like that. Just resonates with me. But you guys are working with some really great brands on like LTOs and collaboration, things like that, which work well. You did something with Eggo Waffles, right? With a breakfast taco. I mean, no one loves an Eggo. Let go my Eggo, Jimmy.
I was waiting for you to use that tagline.
Let go my Eggo. Well, because we're old.
Yes.
Nobody else knows that.
Yes.
Let go my Eggo. Talk to me. So how'd the Eggo waffle, how'd that do, the breakfast taco?
Yeah, actually, they approached us, right? So Eggo came to us and said, hey, we got this idea. We'd like to stand up the idea of for National Taco Day of doing a breakfast taco. And we thought about it and we kicked it around. And it probably more started backwards of like, what could we do together? How could we collaborate? And we said, hey, what happens if we took your waffle, we turned that into our taco shell, and then we built our taco on top of it?
Mike,
and
this
I
was
don't know
your
if you guys
idea,
know
yes?
this. No.
But yeah, Mike, this was your idea, right?
It's not, guys. I got a
I'm feeding Mike.
all-star
I'm feeding
culinary
him.
team.
Mike's a leader.
No.
He wants to make sure that
He wants to give
he's
credit to
giving
the
credit.
team.
No,
By the way, it was his
I
idea, but
got
he's
some
giving
great.
But
we
Mike,
got
you were
some great
playing
people.
golf, and you're out there on like the ninth hole, and you're like,
Eating
Well, anyway, so how did it do? Did it perform well? Is that like, does that become a menu item, or is it just an LTO?
Yeah, that was just a limited time for us. That was one of our shortest collaborations. We did that in just a couple of markets.
Right.
But that's where we kind of kicked it off and learned like, hey, this has got legs. Like this is something that can go viral. It's also something the staff can have some fun with.
Sure.
I'm sure you guys see this all the time. I've listened to your podcast and I've heard other brand leaders and CEOs talk about like the connection to the employee. Right. And it's like you have to figure out ways to get your brand identity and your rebel spirit or whatever it is for you all the way down to every mother's child and every employee and engage them. And you can't say you're going to be a rebel and then do everything that everybody else does. It just doesn't make sense. So, we think that we have permission to have some spicier salsa than some of our competitors. We think if we want to serve an all-day breakfast taco,
there, Mike?
We could do that. We can put Mike's Hot Honey in a burrito. We can do.
Hey, what about Mr. Bing's chili crisps? Can you do something with that?
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, we were super happy with how that performed. We had a lot of fun with that.
Let's just talk about Mr. Bing, Mike Smith, and Moe's. Because you know that Jimmy and I. Jimmy's wearing a hat. He's wearing a Mr. Big hat, so you know he loves Mr. Big.
I don't know how that happened.
How did that happen? What a coincidence!
What a coincidence that I'm wearing a Mr.
So
Big hat.
What'd you do with the Mr. Bing's chili crisp?
Yeah, so let me tell you quickly how it starts. So in our culinary team, typically it takes us about 18 months to get something from ideation to marketplace, right?
Whoa, it takes us in our restaurants, by the way, like 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
We think about it today, and we're like, I'm going to start tomorrow.
Yeah, but our marketing and culinary team did some work, and they said, hey, listen, this is a really hot item. Like everybody's eating this stuff. Everybody's putting chili crisp on everything.
Yeah,
like
especially the younger gen.
Yeah. And so when I look at the demographics that we want to continue to grow with and attract, and as I look at how our demographics are changing across the country, we have to do things that are spicier, that are more flavorful, that approach those demographics.
You're outlaws.
That's right. But why not? Right.
Yeah.
And so we reached out and they sent us some product. And I got to tell you, they were great to work with. They were creative and innovative and responsive. And so we ideated around it. It was really simple to add the sauce to, our chicken that we're already serving. And it tasted great and it performed really well. And with every, LTO that we do sort of a signature taco that's free to our loyalty guests that they're signed up. They got like a 2-week period to come in and try it. And it was one of our best performing tacos in the history of doing this. So
really?
We're really excited about it.
So when does it become a menu, a staple on a menu, or is that not the idea? It's to create these experiences where it's like, what are they doing next? What are they doing next? Because sometimes restaurants, they try an LTO, it does so well, and they put it on the menu, and then they ruin it sometimes, though, right? Because then it's not special. Like I think, like the McRib always is one that everyone's like, and then they bring it back and they take it away. So is that the same jam there?
It could be. So here's how I think about this for us, right? It's like we want to have some items that we know people love that we can go back to and fill time slots. Like we're going to have a base menu of our adobo chicken and our steak and our white meat chicken. Like we're always going to have those items. And then we're going to pulse in for 8 to 12 week periods of time, some variety for our guests. And, birria that we're running now, it's our second time running it because it performed so well last year. We brought it back. But there's nothing to say that birria.
Jimmy, can you say it?
Birria.
Ooh,
yeah,
Jimmy.
That's better.
Ooh,
I lived in California. I lived in California for 13 years, and I still can't roll my R's.
So what's the birria experience? Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's a spicy chili-based shredded beef product.
Yeah.
So it's delicious. It's super tender. It's got a ton of flavor. And I think these shredded proteins are really a premium item that our guests want, right?
Yeah,
so as we continue to look at this segment, like people want better stuff inside their burritos than just taco meat, right? And so we have an opportunity to do that. We'll do it again.
The new generation, I got to tell you, I mean, the younger generation, my kids are all in their 20s, and I got to tell you, their taste buds, their flavor profiles, what they look for in food is so different than Jimmy and I. When we were growing up, it was so simple. Pizza, Chinese food, what do you want? That was it, you know what I mean? And today,
cheese.
It was so bam. American cheese, white bread, peanut butter. And today, the younger, the people, they are really into food with social media and the proliferation of, Instagram and TikTok and whatever. They're seeing it and they want it. So and it's not just in the big cities. They want it everywhere.
Yeah. You know what else they do? They put sauce on everything, right? They put sauce on
my
protein.
Refrigerator. You open up the refrigerator. It's every sauce from everybody. There's 13 Cholulas, Mike's Hot Honey. All the Mr. Bings are in there. You got all these wacky flavors from all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually 2 years ago we rolled out 4 signature sauces inside of Moe's in addition to salsas, right? And in this last, call it about the last month, we've started with the spring LTO. We've actually put the sauces on the salsa bar to allow the guests to have access to that, so that they don't have to feel like they can't sample it or can't try it. Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys, is that retail? You guys selling that stuff in the stores?
We're not. No, not retail. Just come in and get it.
So the only way you get the most special secret sauces is to come into the store.
Come in, have a taco, and try the sauce.
I love it.
My favorite is the poblano avocado crema, but
what is that one?
You might like something else.
Avocado crema.
Poblano.
I've had. That's a very. It's like a green, light green. Avocado-y.
It's delicious.
It's really, that's a good.
It's like a ranch.
I don't know. It's a really good. It's a really good sauce.
Yeah, I like it. You can't say
you
that
Northeasterners think everything's a ranch if it's not, spicy.
Rookie move, Shatsy. Rookie move.
All right, Mike. I want to ask you. You guys are laser focused on as you need to be on the profitability or the profitable operations, and as you head into 2025 and beyond, I find what's interesting. You have a finance background, and you're finding your sweet spot of operational excellence. And we've talked about a lot of your brand innovation. You've said the runway, and clearly what you're doing, it's unlimited because you continue to push the envelope on proteins and sauces, but you can't, grow for growth's sake, and that's a dangerous spiral one to get on. My question: how are you, ultimately approaching this balance between scaling the brand and maintaining the operational standards that make each location successful? I think a lot of listeners have to understand that for Mike and our operators, the guest is a critically important customer, but the franchisees and the operators and the units are really important customers, because you've got to make sure they're winning, and they win when you help them win with their guests. How do you balance these things out?
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot I love about that question, and the piece.
Well,
that
it was my question that Jimmy took from me.
I
just want to preface it. I wrote that question.
That's good.
I give Jimmy
good job.
Go ahead. Yeah, answer it.
You like affirmation. I like affirmation. We're good. So, there's 2 pieces of it, right? So we have to create great items that are profitable to the consumer without pricing them outside the market. And, with some of the menu work that we've done, we've had to remove some ingredients and some favorites, and we're going to pull some of those things back over time. But we had to create an opportunity to add these new ingredients. We had to create room on the menu for things like sauces, or so we could do special promotional days. So we focus on some brand holidays like Cinco de Mayo, National Burrito Day, Free Queso Day. If you guys have, Moe's queso is the best. It's the best on the market. It's top notch. Like everything about our queso, everyone knows Moe's for their queso. So I don't have to talk a bunch about that today.
I'm into the office right now, Mike. What happened with that? Usually when we get a guest, they send us something to eat.
No, Mike offered. I told Julie, I swallowed a lot of aggression recently.
You saw too many pizzas.
A lot of pizzas. So
too much queso.
I said, let's chill in on
Barbara's like, Jimmy, no more queso for you.
Cool on the queso.
Hey, you speak for yourself. I'm working remotely today, and my Moe's order is on its way to my house for lunch as we speak.
So you're getting Moe's, Julie?
Yes, I'm getting Moe's. Moe's is right down the street from me. It's about a 7-minute drive in Jersey. The order is on its way.
Which store do you get from?
From Paramus, New Jersey, Route 17.
Mike, is that a good store? Is over Paramus? Is that a good operator over there?
Yeah, of course they are.
Is that guy killing it? Is he like the highest grossing store in Jersey?
I can't give out the information.
Shout out to the Paramus Moe's, highest grossing store in the entire group. That's from Mike Smith. He just said it.
Well, I love that, so Brandon is enjoying Moe's today, just you and I aren't. But
yeah, Julie, I don't understand. All right, well, whatever. Yeah, anyway, Mike, get back to the question. Julie.
But yeah, I think here's the summary, right, is we have to do things that are operationally friendly for speed of service, and we can't cheat flavor in the process. And when I look at what we're trying to do, we're always trying to balance those two initiatives of how do we create really flavorful, really exciting items that drive guests and drive traffic into our restaurants, and how do we prevent the menu from growing to 1,000 items? You guys know this. You've owned and operated restaurants.
Yeah.
You can't keep everything forever, or just it's not.
You know what the funniest thing, Mike, about that is? It's every time you do a menu revamp. We have 20 stores here in New York City. Every time you take something off the menu, and usually you're taking it off. I mean, sometimes you keep things that they're loss leaders. They're just really cool for the concept, and you need them. But sometimes you take something that's just a really a dog, right? And you take it off, and then the next week, everyone's, you took that. That's my favorite. Everyone comes out. It was my favorite item. Like, nobody ever ordered it. All of a sudden, now it's your favorite item. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. Just
I'll let you tell my story for me.
Oh, is that the story? Oh, shit.
That's it. You know,
we'll edit that out. You go ahead. You tell your story.
I think it's fun. I think we got to continue to work on flow through and get efficient and provide better data to these restaurants, and that's really the key.
I love it. I got to tell you something. Look, let's jump into the little technology, right? Because tech is it's something that restaurants have never really embraced. We're always a little slower. You know, we're a slow crew. We're a slow group. You know, we're just about hospitality, having a good time, making great food, and making sure everyone's having a good time. You guys are bringing. I mean, look, loyalty and customer engagement has been the rage now for quite a few years. That is really the key. I think retail, traditional retail, not the restaurant side of retail, has done a great job on engagement, loyalty. I think we probably on the restaurant side are a little slow. You guys have a whole new loyalty initiative coming soon, Loyalty 2.0, moving from dollars to points, right? Creating all sorts of really cool incentives for your best customers, your frequent diners, and that's the key. Talk a little about that. What's going on? What sparked the change? What can you tell us? You know, give us some nuggets. Give us some breaking news. Give us something that we can go and tell everyone how cool we are.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go macro to micro. So here at Moe's, we're
Jimmy
part of
loves
Go
saying
To
that, by the
Foods.
way.
He
That's
does.
Jimmy's line. Oh, the macro micro line. Oh,
Finance
it sounds smart.
People.
Yeah. So, you know, at the largest level, right? Moe's is part of Go To Foods, and we have 6 other sister brands inside of this. There's 7 iconic brands here, and what we're doing at Go To Foods is we're working to build best-in-class apps and websites that are, you know, specific to us and our needs inside of the business. And so Moe's launched our next gen app in April of last year, and we launched web in Q4. And, you know, we're continuing to learn what the guest wants. And what we want to do is use their data and their purchase information, not to be creepy and weird, but to create things that they actually care about, like to be a better brand for the consumer and bring them information and specials and promotions they want. So if I know that you're just coming in and you're ordering chicken on your burrito all the time, I'll do more innovation with Mr. Bing's or whomever and create more spices and flavors of chicken. If I know that the beef is what's driving my loyalty guest, I'll do that for those guests. And I would tell you, in every brand, the loyalty customer has an outsized opinion of what that brand does going forward because they're so valuable to us.
Sure.
And so, you know, that's really how we think about it at 30,000 foot level. But we've been excited to roll that out. We're really excited about Loyalty 2.0 in April. And what we're talking about inside of our team, and this is definitely breaking news because we haven't even shared this concept.
Yep.
But we want to talk about, you know, this idea around like the rebel spirit and rebel service with our guests and going above and beyond and doing things that you don't get in other restaurants. So more to come on that. But in April, the whole genesis for why we want to move from the dollar rewards to points is so that guests can use a partial reward if they want to. They don't have to go, I just feel like queso today. I don't want to use a $10 reward and lose $4. We want you to be able to customize what you want for your experience because you spend
Mike,
a bunch
that was
of
your
money
idea
with us.
also, right?
I was involved. Can't take full
Another
credit, but
brilliant idea.
more
First
involved.
he comes up with the Eggo idea. Then he comes up with the Mr. Bing idea. Then he comes up with this whole point thing idea. I mean, this is why
Mike's not going to be able to go back to the office.
It's like a think tank.
Why? Because his next stop is CEO. His next stop is the chairman of the board. The next stop is taking over all of the. I mean, yeah, I don't know what's next. I mean, who knows?
You know, the one thing I really I appreciate, Mike, what you just shared, and I want to highlight it, and to our listeners, this is something I feel gets so lost among the general public. Operators, we don't like discounting. Okay, that sucks. To win business on discounts is like, I think, a race to the bottom, and you're cheapening your brand, and you're not treating your loyal customer, that you're not showing them value. And what Mike was talking about, what he's doing with the loyalty program, we love rewarding loyal guests. We love, and Mike's gone above and beyond, and the company's going above and beyond to talk about, they'll give their loyalty members that free taco. They'll give them the points to use partially. That is what we're so into, and I'm excited to hear about, and come April, I'm excited to hear about the launch of your new loyalty program, especially that you're going to operate this across different brands in the Go-To Foods family, which is really awesome. Along with Go-To Foods, you talked about it, and I think you've addressed it, but I want to go just a little further. There's really interesting dynamics with Go-To Foods. For example, there are no CEOs. It's chief. You are the chief brand officer. Serve as the CEO of their respective
Mike, you
brand.
can't get any higher up. You're at the top of the pecking order.
Top of the pecking order.
There's a whole nother level at Go-To Foods to go to, but I got to earn my way there.
Oh, is that right? Well, I think after this podcast, may I say?
Sure.
I don't see how you don't become the head of Go-To Foods. That's me.
There you go.
Right, Mike? Am I right?
You heard it here first. It here first. On the
I think next week we'll be breaking news. Mike Smith is now the CEO of Go-To Foods.
But I guess my question to you, Mike, is there like a CBO quorum, or how do you bounce ideas off? How do you share best practices? And beyond the collaborative aspects, I think you're talking about how you're sharing data. So you touched on that a few moments ago. But are you seeing, benefits for your brand and your peers? Is there buying power, shared resources? Ultimately, it seems like this platform creates some unique advantages, and in today's market. And maybe you could just comment a little bit about that.
Yeah, 100%. So
great question,
let's just
Jimmy.
talk.
Great question,
Yeah,
right, Mike?
Good job, Jimmy.
Great question.
Who wrote that question?
That was just a great question. I didn't write down.
Yeah,
great.
So, short answer is yes. We're seeing lots of efficiencies as being part of a platform company. I mean, the easiest one is supply chain. There are a number of brands that use like the same 32-ounce plastic cup. So it has a different logo on the outside, but at the end of the day, it's the same cup. It's made the same way in the same factory. And so
yours is a little bit special, right, Mike? Yours a little
it's got
bit
a better logo on it. Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
a better logo. But, we can, with proteins, with vendors, all that, we can leverage our buying power across supply chain and yield a better result for our franchisees and save them costs there. Likewise, when we roll out a new point of sale or new piece of technology, we get to learn from other brands in the building, and they can share their challenges and training opportunities. And you don't have to learn every lesson the hard way as a standalone brand. And I talk to the other CBOs pretty much daily, the other 6 brands. And we have a meeting once a week where we sit and we look at the business just overall. And to be able to have that information about how their sales are performing, how their marketing funds are performing, where they're investing, whether it's in third party or catering, and optimizing our spend based on what other people are sharing and learning is absolutely a huge value to being a part of Go-To Foods. The thing I would tell you is, though, they're my brothers and sisters. And
you say that now, Mike, but you're here with me and Jimmy. Do you make fun of him after the meeting a little bit? You're like, what is he talking about? What is that guy talking about?
I don't want to beat him.
You can tell us. You can tell us.
No,
but he can tell us now. Here, that's what I'm saying. Like, after that CBO meeting, you're like, what is that guy
I don't.
Bob's
but there's nothing more I want than to beat him every single day. Like that sales chart, that scoreboard, there's nothing more important than that.
Yeah, a little healthy competition.
I love that.
Yeah, you need that. I got to tell you, that is awesome. Listen, we got a lot more show going on. We got to take a real, just a quick short break, Jimmy, if that's okay, because we are going to be back with a little hot or not and a little branded quickfire, some of the greatest segments in all of podcasting in the entire world, from what I'm understanding. All right, so don't go away. We'll be right back with hot or not. Stay tuned, everybody. All right, we're back. Mike, we're going to do a little hot or not in food service world. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'll ask you a couple questions and a little couple words, and you just say first thing comes to your mind. TikTok marketing, hot or not?
Hot.
Dynamic pricing, hot or not?
Not.
Regional LTOs, hot or not?
Hot.
Celebrity chef airline meals, is that hot or not?
Not.
Not hot. Interesting. All right, Jimbo, what are you going to go with? You going to go TikTok marketing, go dynamic pricing? Where are you going? Reed, what are you going?
There's a lot there, actually. And I think I was with you on that stuff, thinking about your brand, your company. But talk a little about dynamic pricing. It's gotten a lot of attention for the folks, the good people at Wendy's.
Mostly negative.
It caused a S-storm for the folks at Wendy's. I think it's a poor.
You can say on this show.
I know I can't. I choose not to.
Say poop.
I chose not to. But I think revenue management to me is what I hope or aspire to do with dynamic pricing. But for you quickly were a not. And so maybe just comment a little bit on that. And again, I thought you were going to say not, but again, can you expand upon that one a little bit?
Yeah, good question. My opinion, and this is just my personal opinion here, is I think sometimes it's hard to create value when when I think about value, it's price, it's experience, and it's product, right? That's the three-legged stool. It's very difficult to create value based on price when it's constantly moving. And so sometimes I think that creates a little bit of an unfairness principle to a consumer that can only access you at certain times a day. I'm not saying that there's not a use case for it later on, or that we'll never go that direction, or one thing I've learned is never say never in this business, right? Sure. So, but I do think that it's very difficult if you're trying to have promotions and create value and create an expectation with your guest and create a relationship, if your relationship's always changing. Mm-hmm. It'd be like going on a date one day and it's a steak dinner, and the next day I take you out for a fast food hamburger. If I did those in inverse, you would think this guy's leveling up. But if I start you off with a steak dinner, that's going to be your expectation forever.
Yeah. By the way, Shatsy, steak. Don't forget that grocery store steak.
You went right to steak. Yeah,
went right to steak. I agree. First of all, I think that one of the biggest obstacles of dynamic pricing is that if our guests are so negative towards it, and they're only seeing it as adverse to them, and they're not seeing value, and we're going to reduce the price at these times. If they see it as so negative, I think we're pushing on a losing issue. If at the end of the day, I'd love for our operators to have the same type of revenue management controls that airlines and hotels and so many other businesses have. But our business is different, and it is this personal experience of taking in food and beverage and thinking about venues as an extension of their home, and this loyalty. And on that basis, it's really hard. If we have time, Chad, just one quick one. TikTok, you said hot. And to me,
Jimmy, we don't have time.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. To me, I put that in the category of the importance right now of social media. And Chad says about TikTok, he could have said Instagram, and I bet you would have said hot as well. But talk a little bit about the importance to Moe's when it comes to social media and influencers and marketing.
It's incredibly important. It's interesting how much this has changed. I think about 20-something years ago when I started in this business, there was only two modes of ordering, right? There was someone came in your restaurant, or they called you on a phone that was connected to the wall because the cordless phones didn't work that great. Today, you have all these different ways to redirect consumers or retarget them or move them or redirect them to a website or to an app, or there's just so many more order modes, and we're in so many different marketplaces. And when I look at social media, that's just one mechanism to reach a variety of different consumers, and to think about, like, we have to meet people where they want to be met. This is not the, Mad Men advertising where we just put stuff on TV and say, this is awesome, you're going to like it.
Right.
It's a different time and place. And to meet the consumer where they are in order to engage with them and build that relationship with the brand, I think is really critical. And social media, regardless of what platform, I don't have a TikTok. He'll send me TikTok videos, and I got to figure out how to watch them sometimes.
Yeah, right. It's
but I'm not. But
almost everything on TikTok's on Instagram. Can't you just send it to me on Instagram?
I know, right? So, but I'm not immune to the idea that it's a very important place. It's where a younger customer is, and we have to think about connecting with people how they want to be connected with.
Yeah, 100%. All right, listen, we got to jump into a little bit of which came first, Jimmy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Mike, let's play a little which came first.
I'm terrible at this game, by the way. I'm terrible.
Yeah, that's right. Mike's here. Mike is the rock star. All right. Which came first, Mike? The first frequent diner program or the first gift certificate? What came first?
Frequent diner program.
Jimmy, care to guess? Or do you have the answers over there?
I don't have the answer. Just to make it interesting, I'm going. I think the other choice was the gift certificate.
Gift certificate.
I'm going to go gift certificate.
It was actually the frequent diner program. 1965 TGI Fridays created the Stripes program. The first gift certificate was 1988 American Express restaurant card.
TGIF. Smart dudes over there.
Yeah, 1965. All right, which came first, Mike? Buffalo wings or chicken nuggets? What came first, buffalo wings or chicken nuggets?
I want it to be buffalo wings, so I'm going to go with that answer.
Jimbo?
I'll bet
going opposite?
I'm going nuggets.
I probably got this one
chicken
wrong.
nuggets, 1963. Wings were 64 right there. So first came the nugget, then somebody was like,
how about slap some buffalo sauce?
I voted with my heart. That was the wrong choice.
By the way, in 1963, a food scientist, created that. It says created in 1960 by a food scientist. The chicken nuggets were a food scientist in 63. The buffalo wings were invented in 64. Obviously, the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York. We had a funny story there, but I'm not going to tell.
Could I argue that the chicken wing was created thousands of years ago by the chicken? And
it was came first. I agree.
Yes.
Really, the wing wasn't the Anchor Bar. Really, the chicken.
Yeah. But by the way, the chicken wing definitely came before the nugget.
Yes, you were right. All right, which came first? What happened here? Which came first? The Big Mac or the Whopper?
Big Mac.
I'm agreeing with Mike on that.
It's the Whopper. The Whopper,
We're both wrong.
1957 was the Whopper. The Big Mac came in 1967. I got to tell you, good stuff over there. I wasn't keeping track, but it seemed like, Mike, you won, so I'm giving you full credit over there. All right, we got to jump because we're running really slow on time because you guys been like the greatest guest of all time. So we got to go into a little spices right here, and I got to go tee up a little something over here, but I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Jimbo?
Yes.
I got a little spices right coming up here. Are you ready? Mike, are you ready for a little spices right? This is going to be a good one. Oh, there it is. I got it. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah, there it is. There's spices right. All right. What is the average price for a dozen Krispy Kreme original glazed donuts in the United States? Okay. This is from Paramus, New Jersey location. Obviously, Julie, our producer, is based in Paramus, New Jersey. So in Paramus, the Krispy Kreme original glazed donuts, a dozen. Mike, care a guess?
$9.99.
$9.99. Jimbo, remember, you can't go over. You go over, you lose. This is the Showcase Showdown.
So I'm going to read my answer, although with $9.99, I feel like I can just go $10 and I clean this up. Because there's no way. I'm going to read the number. I'm going to read the number that I wrote down. But now I think I'm high. $23.45 for a dozen donuts.
Right, don't, Jimmy, what are you talking about? Donuts $2?
I guess it's regular donuts.
I don't know. I mean, I got the answer here, but I'm just thinking, if you ask me a dozen donuts, there's no way it's $2 a donut.
You walk in, you get a donut. How much is a donut? $2.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the Krispy Kreme is $13.49, so it's more like $1.
$1. All right.
$2 for a donut. I mean, Mike, you were close, because I don't know if I don't know if the tax was included. Mike, you win. You win. By the way, you win both showcases, all right? You win it all. Mike's a rock star. $23.
I don't think there should be shaming.
No, that's going to go down as the worst Prices Right guess ever.
I initially thought of like $12. I'll say it first. And I was like, how can he get away with $1 a donut? They got it like $2 a donut. So I went, $2 a donut. All right. I'm wrong.
All right.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Bad guess.
I'm not sorry. I guessed I was wrong.
All right, let's go. This is interesting. This is going to be good. Let's go to the Trivia Tuesday.
Back to Trivia Tuesday. Here are the 3 factoids about our friend Mike. Chatsy's going to guess which are the 2 truths, which was the non-truth, a.k.a. the lie. Mike's family had their first grocery store steak when he was in college. Fact 2, Mike worked at a golf course in college. Having access to the course allowed him to be a scratch golfer. Fact 3, Mike got braces at the age of 30, a la Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm looking at his teeth. They're absolutely spectacular. Now, I haven't seen the family. I don't know the mom and dad. I mean, I don't know.
He could have braces at 12. And he had good teeth.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking of braces.
Well, the question, did he have braces?
Oh, yeah.
The key factor there is 30.
All right, well, he definitely worked at a golf course in college,
I think that's
because the guy looks like a rock star golfer. He was laughing, smiling. Yes. Yeah, I still don't understand the grocery store steak. I just don't understand.
So you don't understand it, but you're picking it as true.
No. I'm going to say he got braces at 30. Why not? No. You know what? Mike doesn't look like he was getting braces at 30. I don't think he give a shit. I think he had braces or he didn't have braces. I don't think he cares. I don't know what the grocery store steak meant, but there's something about that. I don't think he had braces when he was 30.
So the braces at age 30 is the not truth. Mike, what says you, sir?
The not truth is I am nowhere near a scratch golfer. I am
Come on,
about
Mike, how
18
could you
strokes
do that
away,
to me?
guys.
I built you up like you were like the great.
I know.
Honestly.
Well, it's aspirational. Maybe someday.
What is your
in the
handicap?
restaurant business?
What kind of golfer are you?
I'm in the restaurant business. I have to work way too hard to be a scratch
good
golfer.
point.
Well, I know a lot of restaurant guys that are good golfers. It's
All right, let me clear up the steak thing with you with
please.
a quick story here. So my mom grew up in a super small town on a farm, and then her brothers kind of carried on the tradition of raising their own hogs and steers. And so my whole life, we butchered all of our own hogs and steers at my uncle's farm until I basically graduated high school and went off and did my own thing. So I don't ever remember buying steak from the grocery store. I'm sure I had one somewhere along the line.
Bought steak from a grocery store until college. Now it was just not clear.
Now I understand.
Now I understand. So the first time you ever bought a steak was when you were in college.
He's like, why would
and
you
your
buy
friends are probably like, you're like, I've never done this. Well, your friends like,
you go outside back and you make your own
Yeah,
steak.
like,
What are you talking about?
okay,
I killed a hog, I killed a
The
cow, and we
the
eat.
first time's always a little scary. But
I guess, yeah. You were the first time you told it to your buddies in college, they're definitely looking at you like, who is this guy? Right? It's like,
So wait, so to be clear, Mike, therefore, i.e., had braces at age 30.
Yep. That's a whole nother podcast. But
wait a minute. Yeah. So what happened? What happened with your teeth? You got them knocked out or something? What happened?
No, you know what? I was on a golf trip and I saw somebody with not so great teeth, and I was like, man, what if my teeth continue to shift as I get older? I got to fix this. And so I'm going to make an hour-long story 10 seconds. I had full reconstruction of my top jaw, where they literally sawed it in two pieces, and then they expanded it a half an inch and then brought it back together with braces, all after 30.
Seriously?
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. Wow. Wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but
I have to say,
doctors are amazing.
Very nice teeth. Very nice.
Yeah,
smile.
the teeth are gorgeous.
There you go.
Tell you. Look at that smile.
Man,
You got
guys
to
are
the golf
good
game.
for
You take those teeth paired with a scratch golfer, and I got to tell you, I think we got something.
We're gonna have to hang out more. You guys are good for my self-esteem. I'll tell you that.
We build everybody up. All right, listen, we got to jump because we promised we get you off here in the hour. So let me jump to the branded quickfire. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right, quickfire. 5 lightning round questions. Okay, the last couple of weeks, Jimmy, they've been everything but lightning.
Yes.
But let's try and go. Okay, true or false? The first product Nintendo ever released was a deck of playing cards.
True.
It is true. I don't know if that's a quick fire question. It's more of a, not really quick fire. Kind of weird.
But it's true.
Yeah, like more of a trivia question. Yeah. Julie was smoking something last night.
Well, you're contributing to the need to rename this segment.
Oh, that it is?
Quick
All
fire.
right,
Move on.
Mike, Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Netflix. And the favorite show?
Oh man, we generate a lot of stuff. I'll tell you right now, we're watching Landman on Paramount.
By the way, how good is Landman?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Don't you just want to start smoking Marlboro Reds and drink Dr. Pepper? It's like, honestly,
so
I'm like,
ways.
just give me I got to start smoking and drinking Dr. Pepper.
The branded slow group.
And not even the diet Dr. Pepper. I want the.
That's a good idea. You should have a watch party where it's like bring cigars and cigarettes and.
There's no way they're not healthy the way he's doing it. Dr. Pepper, Butts, and Mick Ultra. I love it, by the way. Great show. I'm in Yellowstone right now. I'm going like the reverse, and I'm loving it. Who's your number one artist on Spotify?
My number one artist on Spotify. Man, that is, I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, and then who do you like? Who's your favorite?
Pick an artist.
Yeah, who's your favorite artist? Forget Spotify.
Since we're talking about Moe's and rock and roll, let's say AC/DC.
Nice, AC/DC.
Oh, AC/DC. Wow, that is some outlaw shit right there. Airline points or hotel like loyalty? What do you like?
Airline.
And what's the airline? What's your go-to?
Delta's my go-to these days.
Oh, you're Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville, moving to Atlanta full time. So
yeah, well, Nashville they got a Delta hub there too. Move. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last one. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to a game of Hungry Hippos, Hungry Hippos. I know that, so I love that game. Better odds of beating.
Who?
How old are your kids, Mike? Do you have kids?
I have no. My wife is 17 weeks pregnant, so we don't have any yet.
All right, Julie, we got to send him a Hungry Hippo game.
And a onesie, a branded onesie.
And a branded onesie.
Mike, I probably shouldn't share anything, but I have an 8-year-old. Shatsy's got 3 kids in their 20s. Now you can give your answer on who would you have a better chance of beating in Hungry Hippo.
I'm going to take down Shatsy, man. He's out of practice.
I am absolutely in the throes of Hungry Hippo. Not just the game at home, but at Dave & Buster's, they've got like the life-size one.
Whoa.
And we're battling Hungry Hippos.
I'll hit you up for some techniques when we get to that age bracket.
Dave & Buster's, that's the daddy-daughter treat. My wife's like, all you, I'm staying away.
I don't think this is the song that I grew up with.
We have to work on this because our guests can't hear the music.
Oh, you can't hear this? That's weird. We got to talk.
We got to fix that.
We got to fix.
All right, listen. There you go.
Well, there we go. I
Chatsy and I agree. Listen, Mike, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Really love what you're doing with Moe's. I think one of my favorite moments was I never knew Moe's was an acronym. Musicians, outlaws, and entertainers, and that is just awesome. The rebel spirit that is Moe's. I think I love the brand even more now knowing that. But also really love what you and the team at Go-To Foods are doing and demonstrating just how creative folks can be to create operational efficiencies and value while still absolutely having your unique relationship with your loyal guests. So kudos to you. We love what you're doing and can't wait to continue to see you move Moe's further and opening more stores and doing great things. If you want to get in touch directly with Mike, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to make that connection for you. And Mike, what's the URL for Moe's?
Just Moe's.com.
Moe's.com. That's awesome.
I mean,
that's a great acronym.
Moe's.com.
Moe's.com.
I implore everybody go to Moe's.com and get some of that queso.
So, Mike, it's great appreciation. I'm going to pass it back to my boy Shatsy to close us out. Yep. And again, really appreciate you doing this with us. Had a lot of fun today with you, Mike.
And thank you, Mike Smith from Moe's. You guys are killing it over there. Listen, check out, if you haven't checked out any episodes, not just listening to them, but you can also watch them. So if you want to see how good looking Mike's teeth are, because they are good looking, and go to at Hospitality Hangout and check that out on YouTube, okay?
I lost the vote on that. I didn't want video. I lost that vote.
Oh, no.
I got a face for radio. I got a face for
audio. We look great. We look great on it. Also, if you haven't checked out, subscribe to the Hospitality Headline. That's the hospitalityheadline.com for our newsletter every Saturday morning. You will absolutely love it. And I got to tell you, join us next week for Brandon Knudsen from Ziggy's Coffee.
Ziggy's?
Yeah, Ziggy's Coffee. I think I got his name wrong. Is it Brandon? Just Brandon. Brandon, the CEO of Ziggy's Coffee. Let's just go with Brandon K. You won't want to miss it. It's a great one. Listen, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Before you head over to the next episode, don't miss this special announcement from our partners. Hospitality Hangout, baby.